think we're burning our dinner is what I think we're doing.
It's out on the sink, cooling off. One other thing was that when John came back from the service and he dated this one girl up and went up to do Lake Tahoe.
Oh. They were getting married. Yeah. They'd ordered the invitations. And Dad and I went up in the cab. It was Thanksgiving time. We went up and stayed in our cab over camper. Buddy, stop it, you brat. And they were engaged. And we went up to meet the girl. Met her folks. The mother worked in a counter restaurant with a counter waitress. I forgot what the father did. But we were not impressed with the girl or the family. And he called me a couple weeks later. We were up there for Thanksgiving. And they'd have everything all arranged, and they'd called it off. And he had to pay all the expenses.
Like weeks before?
A few weeks before. I had not even bought a dress yet for this wedding.
And then tell him what happened with your mother, what she had said about John.
I don't remember. Oh, about Diane? Yeah. Oh, but anyhow, I was very happy that he didn't marry her. She wasn't a Christian. She had no education. I mean, she just was. I didn't feel like she was for him. Oh, and that Thanksgiving, we were all having dinner at our house up there in Placentia. And she said, John, why don't you date Diane?
Her mother.
She's such a sweet girl. He says, Grandma, that's like dating my sister. And it wasn't long after that, he asked her to a party. And and that was Thanksgiving. And at Christmas time, he brought her to our Christmas gathering.
Wow.
And
wow.
And they were
getting. You've probably never heard this story.
No, I haven't.
And they were going to get married.
Wow.
It was.
You see, by all these stories there, you see how your grandma and I have communicated and relate to one another.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
He listens to all my stories, but Diane and he are a perfect match. But he says, Grandma, that'd be like dating my sister.
Wow.
And because she had been at our house innumerable times. She and Carol were best buddies.
Right.
And they'd come, they always wanted me to fix fried mush for breakfast.
It's so funny.
And she was a dear girl.
Yeah.
And we were so thrilled when they did get married.
Awesome.
So, and I was thrilled after knowing Peter when they got married. And after meeting Roy and going back to see them and see him play, it's not football, what do they call it, where they have scrums?
Rugby.
Rugby. He played rugby. It was wonderful. Nancy at least got a free college education.
I told you about that.
Yeah. But I mean, and they've all been married many years. I mean, it's not like they jumped into something that they didn't know who they were marrying.
Yeah.
So.
They learned something from you.
Yeah, hang in there. It's not always fun and games, but you hang in there.
You knew how your grandma and I met first.
Sunday school, right?
I had started a shut-in ministry there. And one of the things that prompted me to do that is my mother was in a care center for 6.5 years. And when I would go back for seminars, I would stop to see her every day. Yeah.
10? Has it been that long?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So anyway, and then later what?
Now wait a minute. We've only lived here, it'll be 8 years. We've only lived here, it'll be 9 years in October.
All right. I'd started it then shortly after you got here. Then.
Yeah, it was.
I'd started it before.
So it isn't 10 years, it's more like 9.
I got one question left.
Okay, what?
Just at this point, what would be like one or two of the biggest life lessons that you've learned at this point that you would pass on to somebody and say, this is, life is this, or this is what, I got out of it? Or...
Accept a person as they are. Don't try to change them is one thing. Appreciate all the good things you've been given. And in your life, not just things, but the good things the good times, the blessings that God has given you. I wouldn't trade Wayne for anything. He is the dearest man I've ever known in my life. He's a caring person. He gives to every valid ministry that asks for money or anything. He loves his kids. I've learned to love his kids. He's learned to love my kids. I mean, it's just accepting each other as they are, not trying to change them. I mean, he doesn't like it that I do crossword puzzles particularly, but he's given up on that. He doesn't like me. I've given up on watching 2.5 Men because he hates it. But I still watch Law and Order and CSI because I love it. I mean, and
Remember, I respect her as an individual.
and he likes to be on the computer. He's writing his life story on the computer. And I think that's admirable, and I appreciate it. He likes to play solitaire as a relaxation. That's fine. It's accepting people as they are and not trying to change them. I mean, if you have absolutely nothing in common, then you're in the wrong place.
I want to say we feel so blessed. We're one body, soul, and spirit, word, thought, and deed. We start every day with prayer and with devotion.
That's
together.
true. That's
Holy
true.
sweetheart.
We also have a wonderful love life. So I've never been happier in my life. So, Yep.
We both feel very blessed. Very blessed.
You are.
We know that.
Yeah.
And part of this condition is possibly the stage of life we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have jobs we have to go to. We don't have kids we have to
Right.
get to school and take
Right.
care of and
Right.
so forth like that.
Right.
That makes some difference there.
Yeah.
We have giving one another the undivided attention and letting us know that we love one another.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if it's getting up at 10:30 or 11 in the morning.
I mean, I might go over to that other house and there's some roses over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick some roses and bring them to her.
You
It's
did.
not that much,
Right.
but it shows a
Yeah.
tenderness.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could I have been so blessed?
I don't know.
And whenever
I
I cut a peach or anything, I have to give her part of it, don't I, sweetheart?
But I had a good marriage.
Yeah.
57 years. 54 of them were really good.
We're tough, and you know that. And it wasn't easy, but
Well, we could talk to you forever, really.
I know, but
record
But
it.
as we go down the line, our kids probably won't do that as much. And so for us, I think it's just helpful to be able to hear these stories. Even watching Grandma Brown as the family sat around and told stories, like it's so cool for me. Because I was 14. Like, what do I care when I was
I know.
14,
I
you
know.
know? So we never listened. I remember her funeral. That's all I really remember about
You know
Grandma
what?
Brown.
I don't
so.
remember that. I really don't remember.
I remember meeting my second and third cousins, and I don't even know who they are. They're the twins, the two girl blonde twins, and they have a brother who's has Down syndrome. It's one of Mom's cousin's kids. Who is it?
Oh,
No, that's Grandpa.
Gwen.
Yeah, it's
Gwen.
Other side.
Gwen, yeah, Gwen. And she died. She died some time ago.
Really?
Yeah, her, or Dolores.
And then Dolores,
Dolores.
right?
She's in a nursing home.
And she has a son and a daughter, right?
No, she had 2 sons and one died of AIDS.
Right. Oh, he did die. I didn't know that he
Oh
died.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And these are the stories I heard growing up, but I don't think I retained them very well, and that's why I say your memory's so good, because my memory, I hear of these things in the back of my mind, but I think my stories are very mixed up, you know?
Well, your grandpa's family was not close, really.
Right.
I mean, they
Right.
were,
There's so many of them.
yeah, and they were not close. I talked to Phil or Jan today. Phil's wife. I mean, I only had Phil,
Right.
but Al had Marge and Bud and Dolores and Orv and Gwen and Bud. I mean, there were
8 total.
no, I
7.
think
He had 6 brothers and
no. I think it was 3.
oh,
Bud was the oldest. Then Gwen, then Al, then Dolores, then Marge, then Orv. 6.
yeah. Okay.
6.
Yeah. And I feel like and probably because we've stayed close, but our cousins and family are closer than you guys ever were with cousins and
Oh yeah.
just because we've stayed close. And it's cool. Like, I've just recently begun to realize the value of having you guys close, having all my cousins close. Like,
oh, I love
my
having you.
entire family,
Hummingbirds, honey.
Yeah, I've said
Behind.
I've seen several of them come up.
having your entire family live within 30 miles of you,
It's wonderful.
it's pretty amazing. Like, it's pretty rare.
Well,
and
I
the
would
value
say-
of
Amber
that.
have anybody she's dating at all?
What?
You don't have that on camera, I hope.
No, she doesn't. And we need to pray for that, because I feel like that's been a huge struggle.
Cut the camera.